Welcome to Roland Garros Live with the team from Diary of a Professional Tennis Coach. For 15 days, we'll have all the latest from Paris. Come and slide in to play with us on the Terre Battue. Well, a warm welcome back to Diary of a Professional Tennis Coach, everyone. This is RG Live, and my guest today, well, we've got quite the stand-up lineup. It is Christina McHale, a US tennis player. We'll talk all about her career and her comeback to the game. And we've also got top coach in Vlado Platinic, who's currently working with the woman from Czechia, Linda Flevetova. Welcome to you both, and thanks very much for coming on.
Hello.
It's good to be back.
Christina, let's start with you. We have a US woman as Roland Garros champion 2025. The last American women's champion in Paris was the great Serena Williams. That was a decade ago. Coco Gauff has done it as well. A 3-set win over Aryna Sabalenka. Came back from a set deficit. What did you make of the final today?
I mean, it was incredible. I thought Coco's mental toughness to stay just so focused out there the entire match. There were so many ups and downs. Like, you really didn't know who was going to win to the end. And I'm just so happy for her and for American tennis. I think she's so great for the sport and such a great example for young Americans here that are starting to play tennis. So I just think it's incredible.
And Vlado, you are currently in Birmingham. We can see you in the car coaching Linda, who is into the final of that 125. I'm sure you kept one eye, though, on the match at Roland Garros, the final, Coco Gauff versus Sabalenka. Are you surprised that Coco won?
Well, it was a classic Sabalenka Gauff match, I would say. You know, Aryna a little bit over-motivated, I would say. But yes, I mean, I was not expecting Coco to win, honestly. I was thinking that Aryna, she can get it together and prevail, but she was making too many errors today.
She made a lot, didn't she? 67 unforced error off the racket of Sabalenka, who essentially began her speech with the fact that she played really badly, which is probably not quite the right thing to say, Christina, after you lose a match. Of course, she's going to be bitterly disappointed. She also lost the Australian Open final, didn't she, to Madison Keys? So just talking about Sabalenka, how difficult is it going to come back from 2 major final defeats?
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but I think she's obviously a very tough player. And so she'll, you don't have a lot of time between French Open and Wimbledon. So she will have to quickly get over that if she wants to have a chance at Wimbledon. But yeah, I think it was just every time you felt like she was okay, now she's like in a good rhythm now, especially in the first, up 4-1 love, or then she wins the first set. You think, okay, like she's going to settle down now, or she got it back to 3-all in the third. It was just like every time you felt like, okay, her emotions will get under check. She's got it. It was like, then it just went back to up and down and so many errors.
Oh, I totally agree with you. Vlado, so difficult when you don't perhaps play your best tennis. I suppose in a major final, though, you're probably not expecting to play your best tennis. It's just about getting through it. Is that a fair statement?
Well, I think, it's hard to say because Aryna, she's a different animal, I would say. She wherever you see her practicing or playing matches, she's playing with 100% intensity. And yes, if she, I would say like not her day, but I would say like Coco is very difficult player for her to beat because she actually has a good game to beat her, like spinning high to the backhand and moving well, So she makes Aryna play a lot of rallies, which Aryna doesn't like. And and today was the day where everything was. I mean, not everything, but it was the day where Coco could take it.
Yeah. Christina, I actually wrote an article on the match before because I saw the numbers, and it was so important for Gauff to keep Sabalenka away from the baseline where she likes to play. She likes to dominate, doesn't she? And using the clay courts with that spinny forehand and backhand of hers, Gauff was able to just push her back and frustrate the Belarusian. Is that fair?
Yeah, she was able to push her back and get out of her strike zone, but I thought Coco did a good job as the match went on, also bringing Arena in, not on her own terms, and then hitting kind of a two passing shots. Like she would hit the first one, kind of get her out of position, and then have the opening. So I thought she did a really good job of that. And then we saw like Arena kind of miss some pretty routine volleys there. So I think she did a good job of pushing her back, but also mixing in some variety too and bringing her in.
Yeah, good point. And Vlado, Coco, of course, had got to the final of Madrid. She'd got to the final of Rome, gets to the final of Roland Garros. Unbelievable consistency. How difficult, if you can put that into words, is that to do and then win the title?
For me, I admire because Coco because she's so young, and she's really like showing a maturity, in her game, in her mental game. So this is something that it's not so easy when you follow the young players or even some older players. It's not so easy to manage. So this is something that Coco is like one of the best in the world. And this is what actually won her the title, because she was calm and she was always fighting and trying to find the way to get every point. And this is something, like, which is amazing in her age.
Vlado, this is very impressive. You're in the car, getting out of the car, and still speaking and making sense. So, Christina, let's go to you. Christina, you look a lot more comfortable, a lot more settled. But I was actually looking at players who've beaten Sabalenka, having lost the first set this year. Ekaterina Alexandrova has done it. Mira Andreeva did it. She was the most recent. That was in Indian Wells in March. So it just doesn't really happen against Sabalenka. How do you think, and why do you think Coco was able to switch that around?
I think just the mental toughness that Coco showed today, that Vlatko was talking about. I think she looked so like just even killed. You couldn't, if you were to just look at the match, you couldn't really tell the score based off of how even killed she was. And I think also the experience of having had to do that at the US Open, come back from down a set, for Coco, that she's already done it before, I think that helped give her the belief that she could do it again.
God, that's such a good point, isn't it, Vlado? Because, of course, Sabalenka and Goff met in 23 at the US Open. That was Coco's first major title. I actually say Coco's now won 3, because I'll add that Roland Garros doubles title she won last year with Katerina Siniakova. I think that is relevant as well. But maybe Sabalenka had a few worries after it went to 3 sets, having lost to Coco at the US Open. Does that come back to players, something that's happened in the past?
Actually, I was talking to Linda watching this match, and I told her, like, this is the copy of US Open, because it was exactly the same game plan from Coco. And I mean, like, me as a coach, I always try to improve something. It doesn't matter if you're number 1 in the world or 1,000. And I think there is a lot of things that Coco can improve in her game. There is a lot of things that Arina can improve, and the major thing that she needs to improve is the long rally practice. Because she, after 3-4 balls, she's panicking. You can see it on her body language. You can see it on the decision making. And then she's very hectic and making really funny decisions on the court. And making a lot of unforced errors.
Yeah, that is such a good point against Sabalenka. You've got to extend the shots, the rallies past 5 shots. We've got the numbers 3/4 of the time. She can keep points to fewer than 5 shots. She wins about 2/3 of those, where Goff really comes into her own because of her athleticism, Christina, between 5 and 9 shots. She has won over the course of Roland Garros about 2/3 of points. To Sabalenka's 56 or so. So extending the points was absolutely vital for Coco today.
Yeah, I've never played Coco in a match, but we played an exhibition against each other a while back, and I will say it amazed me how many balls you think are not going to come back and come back. Like it's so frustrating, and I'm sure that Arena's not used to players getting all of her balls back like that, and you could see why it was frustrating her, because she's not seeing this, week after week.
Yeah,
And
this is
the
very,
final
very
numbers
correct.
saw. Yeah, carry on, Vlado.
I like the comment now, and this is also something that I really put attention to with my players. To always finish the rallies, always be ready, one more ball coming back. And this is a little bit what I already told you before, Candy, when we spoke earlier. I always think that the women tennis is catching up to the men's tennis because it's more powerful, this and that, but also the athleticism and also this discipline of finishing the rallies and never stopping even after you hit a good point or good shot. You need to cover the court. You need to expect one more ball coming back on your side, and this is very good for what Christina said. That's it's always from Coco, always a ball is coming back.
She won, in fact, 18 more total points in the match, did Coco. 30 winners, 30 unforced errors. Sabalenka, 67 unforced errors to 36 winners. Vlado, we've spoken a lot about the Coco forehand. I, in the past, have actually said that if I was coaching her, which will never happen, but if I was, I would probably have fixed that forehand. And a lot of people have said, no, I wouldn't touch it. And I think now looking at it, they were right. Do you agree? What would you do with it?
Well, it's very difficult in her age to really change that. It can be improved. Definitely, it can be improved. But I think it's also important that people don't make some how can I call it? I can do it better.
Yes.
Comments, and I think she just has a decent forehand. And she needs to play smart with it, like she did today. She put a lot of spin, and she goes down the line to the backhand of the opponent. And especially in the long matches, if good serve, a good backhand, and you're moving well, the heavy spin is very, very difficult for the opponent because you just kill the legs of your opponent. And when she was trying to do something with the forehand, she was making too many unforced errors. And it was not her game. So to maximize her potential, I think she has to play smart with the forehand and eventually try to improve it. For me, like I said, the best improvement for her on the forehand is to try, to focus on when to play close stance and when to play open stance, because right now she's playing a lot of open stance forehands, and she can only kind of put spin on the ball. So my suggestion would be, to practice with the coach or in the situations, a little bit more close stance when she has time, and then she can power through the forehand more and create more pressure. But like I said, also the serve, I didn't like the serve today, for example. She was serving 130 kilometers, how many miles it is, which was very slow. It worked today because Arena had a bad day, but the serve was not really good today. But she made it anyway.
It was just so about momentum swings, wasn't it, Christina? You spoke about it at the beginning, just so many ups and downs. And it looked like Sabalenka would take it after a strong start. And given her record this year, over 3 sets and beating people when she's won the first set. But Coco roars back, and it's another excellent stamp, isn't it, for US women's tennis in particular?
It is. And I think Coco's like the perfect example just of, how to just keep fighting during a match. And she's such a amazing champion on and off the court. So I think this is huge for American tennis, obviously. And just she's so humble too. I've mentioned it before, but like it always, and her family as well. Like it just always amazes me, like when someone, stays the same, and thankfully so far she has.
And she transcends tennis, doesn't she? She's not just a tennis player. We've seen her at some award ceremonies. Of course, she makes tennis her absolute priority, but she's someone that's a big superstar, isn't she, across the world? Everybody knows her.
Yes, everyone knows her name, and everyone loves her. I feel like she's so likable. She's, like I said, so humble, and I think now she's getting into other ventures. I think like a basketball and some other, she's so likable. It's really cool to see, and she's so young to be so mature and to think and all the pressure that's on her, because I think she was feeling pressure. Like, okay, she got her first slam, that was a huge relief, but like, could she do it again? And so I think it's just must be a relief for her too to get the second one.
Yeah. So Coco Gauff is the Roland Garros champion. 3 major titles, 2 in singles now, 1 in doubles, gets the better of Aryna Sabalenka in 3. Vlado, just looking at the girls' final, an Austrian called Lily Tagger has beaten a Brit, Hannah Klugman. Hannah, I know very well indeed. I've known her for about 5 years. and she is an excellent player, but it was very one-way traffic for the Austrian. And Lily Tagger actually beat Lois Bosson this year.
Yeah.
Bosson, of course, got to the semi-finals of the main event, losing to Coco Gauff. So it just indicates to me that there's actually not a huge difference between the girls and the women. Is that fair?
Yeah. I mean, yes, I know Lily. I was helping Austrian Tennis Federation 2-3 years ago, and I met her, and I really like her game already like 2-3 years ago. She has a one-hand backhand and was very, very, very unusual, for girls tennis. But the technique was very beautiful. She was very tall girl. So I didn't see her since then, but already at that time, 2-3 years ago, she was playing very, very well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, I think they also like the family and Lily, they were already 3 years ago, 4 years ago, they were really trying to get some help from top coaches. I think she was at that time coached by Vagnozzi, the coach of Sinner.
Oh, yes.
I met them at the tournament, so I was very impressed, and she was going the right way, and it looks like she's still going the right way. Klugman, I don't know so much. I didn't see her, so I don't know much about her. But well, I mean, we will see. We will see how fast they can go and do some damage on the WTA tour. The only thing is, and I see it. We have a very talented girl in Slovakia, Renata Jamrichova. She won 2 Grand Slams last year, and she's struggling. She's struggling to go quickly higher to the higher rankings, because I think it's very physical. It's very physical. The girls from 300 and lower, they really play powerful, and they are really strong physically. So this is, I think, very big thing where some of the junior players, I think they're lacking the physicality, and I would suggest to many of them to really work well on the fitness, as soon as possible.
Christina, you've recently come back to the game. I'd love to know what's the difference between you now as a player to when you started, and also opponent-wise. Do you like coming up against a 16, 17-year-old, or would you rather come up against a 30-year-old?
I mean, I think it's just like the game is just changed. Like when I first started on tour to now, like, you have the powerful players that are moving so well. And it's not just like, everyone has less holes in their games and more weapons. And like, yeah, like I said, the game is so physical right now. So I think whether you play a 16-year-old, they have, they present their challenges, or you play someone around my age, there's different challenges. So I think it's just the game is definitely changing, and you have to just keep improving, and there's a lot less holes in people's games.
And just quickly, Vlado, you're working with Linda, who's still very young. She emerged onto the scene incredibly young. I actually saw her and then her sister win Le Petitsin back to back. How is Linda doing? How have you changed her game?
Well, yeah, I mean, Linda was struggling the last maybe 1 or 2 years, also struggling with an injury. But for me, from my point of view, and I honestly said to this to the parents and to Linda that, for me the game was a little bit underdeveloped. Like you can see that, she has the potential, but I was missing a good serve. I was missing a little bit more aggressive game. She was playing very flat. I think her fitness was lacking, or still lacking. Is still lacking, but we work now 2 months, and I see, because what I say, that she's a workaholic, but she's a workaholic in a wrong way. Like she wants to be on the court 8 hours, 6 hours. She wants to hit a lot of balls, and I said to her that it would be too easy if it was only about hitting balls 24 hours a day. Then everybody could be top tennis player in the world. So it has to be smart. It has to be done with a good fitness, with the right technique, a little bit. I think, like I said, she was playing too flat, so we are trying to improve a little bit the wrist work, and a little bit, spin the ball, have more options in the match. The serve improved a lot now in the last 2 months, which was, for me, I think it's the easiest thing to improve, because it's your shot, and if you work correctly and with the good biomechanics and so on, you know, you can improve the serve very well. And it happened to me also with Lulu, you know, the last few years when I worked with her. We improved the serve a lot. Now also Linda improved the serve a lot. She's serving a lot of aces, which is very, very important on grass. And she has the grass kind of tennis because she's playing flat. And yeah, so she's improving, and it's important for me, you know, also to play these finals because you know, I gain more trust with better results and so on. But I have already seen the improvement in Roland Garros. Unfortunately, the opponent was too tough in Roland Garros. It was a good match, and I think here she's playing even better and more stable. So you know, we are all happy that you know, it's working well, and you know, we will try to improve you know, in the future.
Well, yeah, good luck in the final. It's well, we don't
Thanks.
know her opponent yet because it's been raining, hasn't it, in Birmingham? But Linda
Yeah,
Flevitova is
still
getting to the final.
still
Shocking.
playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Shockingly great.
about Christina, you know, I like when she was talking about the young players, because I remember when she was a young player and she was
Yes.
coming, and I was coaching Nadia Petrova, and
Right.
Christina was playing her on the center court, and in the biggest moment of the set, I think it was a set point or something, 40-30, and Christina would go second serve kick and go for volley, which was absolutely unusual, you know, for even on of the top players, and she just killed the volley, and I was like,
Nice.
wow, you know, this girl has some tools. Yeah, so yeah, I remember that when she came, and she was fearless and playing actually very smart tennis. Yeah.
I knew I liked you,
Thank you for that
Christina.
reminder. Thank you for that reminder. I needed to hear that.
Yeah. No, I'm old, and I you know, I don't know. I analyze so much, and so I remember these moments, you know, and I was really impressed that time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Appreciate that.
All right, let's turn this over to the men's final, because that's what's coming up on Sunday. And it's a big one, Christina, just like the women's final, 1-2, Yannick Sinner versus Carlos Alcaraz. Which way do you see this one going?
Oh, I mean, as a fan of tennis, like I just can't wait to watch. Like I think it's going to be such a high level. I think I'm going to pick Carlos. I'm going to go lean that way.
And why would you say Carlos is going to win?
Well, he just beat him in the final of Rome, so there's that. But I'm just such a fan of Carlos and the way his style and the way he plays, and he's just like looks like he's having so much fun out there. So just because I really like his style of play, I'm gonna pick him.
And Vlado, which way would you go on the men's final, Sinner versus Alcaraz?
Yeah, I go with Sinner. I think yes, he won Rome, Carlos, but Sinner had some I think some problems with his health, and also he didn't have too many matches after the doping situation.
Yes.
So now he has far more matches, and honestly, you know, his body, you know, his game, you know, he has a little advantage, you know, from Carlos. He's taller, he's the bigger hitter, and I think just he has more weapons, you know, and obviously it will be about the, you know, who is gonna have a better day. But yeah, I just you know, the Sinner has so much power in his shots. Yeah.
He hasn't lost a set either, has he? Yannick Sinner beat Novak Djokovic in the previous round. Just quickly before we go back to the men's final, Vlado, do you think we will see Novak back on Philippe Chatrier again, or do you think that was him calling it a day at Roland Garros?
I hope he was just frustrated because, you know, obviously, you know, he is there to win tournaments, and he wants to win Grand Slam, and he's used to win Grand Slams, and so for sure for him it's frustrating. But look, the guy went to semifinals again, which is unbelievable, and lost probably to the best player at the moment, Sinner. So, and it was a close match. So I hope he will be back. But anyway, you know, like it is his decision, and you know, sometimes it's very hard to quit, you know, I wish he played more because I think he's still fit enough. I think he could do one more year easy, but it's difficult. It's every day you have to practice. You have to, the body hurts. I'm sure,
Yeah.
I know I'm 50 and I didn't play as much as him, but I played a lot, and I know how I feel. So the body is not getting younger, and it's just difficult. The family and the travel and focus, and it's tough. It's tough.
Christina, you're quite a bit younger than Novak, but you've come back to the game. How is your body feeling? And do you think that Novak will give it another year?
Gosh, I mean, I'm 33 and Novak's older, and it's so impressive that he has been able to maintain and recover as quickly, because that's what I find the difference is now is like when I'm playing again or practicing again, like the way that I could recover so quickly when I was younger is just not the case right now. And so I have to work smarter. And it's not about the amount of time I'm spending on the court anymore in practice. Like it is having to be so smart. But yeah, I think he can do, like, he is like superhuman, and if he wants to play another year he can, but it is about whether he wants to. And it kind of seemed like it was a farewell, but maybe it was just frustration, like Latko said.
You've just got to question his motivation, haven't you? We know he wants to win 25. Perhaps he wants to get past Jimmy Connor's record of 109 in full titles, but now he's got 100. And we are hearing mumblings around the team that he's not really enjoying it as much as he once was. I don't think he's playing for the money. Let's just say that. And I don't think Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner will be playing for the money either. Of course, Carlos Alcaraz is the defending champion. He's looking for major title number 5. What have you liked about his game, Vlado, so far at Roland Garros? What do you think he could do a bit better?
Honestly, I didn't watch men's tennis. I didn't have time. I was very busy here in Birmingham, and honestly, like Carlos is a small sinner, right? So he's very skilled. He's very skilled. He's very fast. I don't know. I don't know what he can add. Like these guys are almost perfect. So. Like I said, I want to be honest. I didn't watch men's these past days. I didn't watch him much. So, but like I said, the guy was already complete 2 years ago. So it's just about being better and better. Maybe choosing the better shots, better game plan. But it will be difficult, like I said, because Sinner doesn't give you any slow shots, any presence. He's moving well. Also for his height, he's moving amazing. So it's like Christina said, it's going to be hopefully it's going to be really good final. I think so.
Christina, it's actually 8-5 in favor of Alcaraz in this head-to-head. So as Vlado said, Alcaraz won in Rome. It was Sinner's only loss this year. That was 6-1. They met in an exhibition at the end of last year. Sinner won that in 3. Alcaraz won that unbelievable final in Beijing. I was actually there reporting for the ATP, and he won on a tiebreak, 7 points to 3 in the third set. The French Open last year, Alcaraz won in 5 sets, 6-3 in the third to reach the final. And in Indian Wells last year, he also won in 3 sets. So maybe your choice there, Alcaraz, is the right one just because of the history. How much do you think that will matter?
I think it plays a part. You obviously think back when you're going to go face someone, you think back on prior matchups and what you want to improve and what you did well and what, and then you'll look at what they've been doing well this tournament. But yeah, I mean, I did watch the Sinner Djokovic match yesterday, and I was just in awe of Sinner. Like the way that he hits the ball so strongly from like the corners of the court, like you think he's in a defensive position, and he's so strong. It was so impressive. I had not watched a full match of his before, and I just thought he's so incredible to watch.
Vlado, just finally, perhaps Sabalenka was hurt a little bit by the fact that she played a very tough 3-set match against Iga, where, of course, Coco Gauff's semi-final over Boisson was much shorter, much straightforward. It's hard to say who has the advantage in the men's match, given that Sinner hasn't lost a set, but he did have 3 tough sets against Novak. And, of course, Alcaraz had that retirement win in 4 over Musetti. Does that make a difference at this point? Do you think either of them will be feeling physically quite tired, or do you think they'll be all right?
I think they will be all right. Obviously, Sinner is lucky that it was only 3 sets. Because it was tough 3 sets. But these guys are extremely fit, you know, and I think that history doesn't matter that much because Sinner is getting better physically, you know, like
Yes.
I think a few years ago he was too skinny, too young, and you know, like you know, his fitness is improving from year to year. So, like I said, you know, it will be only matter of how Carlos if he will have a good day. I think if not, then it will be difficult.
So you think if Carlos is sort of playing 90% of his ability, he'll win?
Yes, it's possible. Yes.
Is that about right?
Yeah.
And Christina, last question for you. Of course, a first French Open final for Yannick Sinner. Carlos already has a title here. Will that make any difference?
I mean, Sinner has the experience of winning the last two slams, so I think that won't be in a Roland Garros final. I don't think it will be too overwhelming for him. No.
Okay. Yeah, Sinner, of course, wins Australia and wins US Open. He's the hard court champion, isn't he, now, while Alcaraz has the advantage on the natural surfaces. All right, so we will very much look forward to that. Don't miss a thing. My thanks to our guests today, Christina Mikhail and Vladimir Platonik. Vlad, good luck in the Birmingham final. We will be watching, Linda.
Thank you.
And Christina, the best of luck as well in your second stint on tour. We'll be watching that with some interest as well. Thanks so much.
Good luck, Christina. Bye-bye.
Thanks all. Thank you for watching Diary of a Professional Tennis Coach. Please like, subscribe and share, and we'll be back soon with another great episode.